Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome back to the Roguecast. It's another big week for comics, another good week for comics.
Yep. Lots of this is a week that has some big releases in it. Some absolutes and stuff came out, but also a few neat surprises. Like my shows up every 5 years favorite Dark Horse comic series, Concrete.
Apparently every 30 years, Dave.
He had the idea for this story 30 years ago, but he puts out a new series about every 5 to 10 years. No, he's actually in his way prolific, I would say.
Okay.
You can put together multiple volumes from this.
That's true.
Saying.
Yeah.
If Mike Mignola only ever drew Hellboy and didn't have this big staple of artists drawing it, I think he'd be at about the same place.
Now this leads to a question.
Okay.
It's a version of like, would you let anyone else do Concrete? Could you see anyone else drawing and writing? I could.
I think it's too personal.
Oh man, I could see a really cool anthology with some of his indie friends and stuff.
Maybe drawing it, but
you think it would have to be written by?
I think it has to be written by him because, it always felt autobiographical.
Well, as we know from every writer artist in the world, you can write a lot more than you can draw.
That's true.
So maybe he should start writing Concrete as well.
Yeah,
I would love to see some guest takes on Concrete.
I think he likes drawing it.
Oh, that's fine. I guess he can do that.
He's kind of like, in a weird way, doing the Bill Watterson thing of the big integrity. He's like, this is my vision. He's like, only I'm going to do it.
That's fair.
And there will be no stuffed concretes.
It would just be a rock.
Yeah, it would just be a rock. And also there's no demand for it because nobody knows what it is.
No.
We'll talk about it later.
Yes. But do you want to mention a week from Saturday is Free RPG Day?
Yes.
Yep. We have all the stuff. We'll probably talk about next week, like sort of what the samples are.
We have the goods.
It should be another good year for Free RPG Day. I saw a lot of good people on that list. We have our tickets for Supergirl also happening next week. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that.
Oh, wow, next week.
I saw that trailer, the trailer for that. That's like the final trailer in the theater. It's really good. I'm definitely getting hyped for it.
No, I have not seen that trailer.
That's good. A lot of Lobo. And we just got a big restock on comic book bags and boards.
Right.
And boxes, some stuff we've been low on or out of. So we've got your supplies covered.
One of the notable things that we got both silver and current size up to speed on was the pre-packaged ones, the bag and board combo.
Yeah, they come 50 bagged and boarded already. We didn't have to do it. It was done by, I assume, school children in overseas.
No, this is what they're finally using robots for the right thing.
Oh, robots are bagging and boarding.
Yeah, probably.
That's a good idea.
They don't have the fine motor control for that. Only children.
Is this Snowpiercer?
And specially trained dogs. Not cats. You can't get cats unionize immediately.
You can get one of those St. Bernards that dig you out of the snow to do it.
Yeah.
They've got fine motor skills.
When it's summer and there's not enough snow, the St. Bernards will bag and board for
That's
you.
right. Yeah. They take the little liquor cabinet barrel off of their collar.
Yep.
And they come south to bag and board comics.
And they will, if you were in a dire need, if you were in the midst of all your comics, bagging and boarding, you've run out of bags and boards, you can call out, and then the St. Bernard will run up to you with bags and boards preassembled around its neck.
Yes.
Yeah. Great St. Bernard migration.
Yes. Yes.
Actually, what I was going to say is if you're having a tough time getting them bag and boarded and you're kind of weary, give the St. Bernard a wink and it will open up the liquor cabinet.
Let's talk about games we got this week. Not a ton of stuff. We got one from Kickstarter that I'm kind of excited about. It's called Hanami.
Yeah.
This is a board game from the people who made Parks.
Okay.
And it is a reimagining
There's a game
of
called Hanabi. Right?
Hanami.
No, but there once was a game called Hanabi.
Yes, there is still
a game.
That's Fireworks.
Yeah, that's right.
This is based on Reiner Knizia's game Samurai from 1998, so also about 30 years old. It's a tile-laying game. This has been sort of rescanned and redesigned. It is an area control game. You're trying to control the best spots in Japan as like a tourist.
Okay.
There's the Nihon side of the map. On the back is the new Tokyo side. This is the Kickstarter edition, so it's got wood tokens and a box organizer, and it has a mini expansion and these bento bags where you put your tiles and stuff in. So
is this one of those games that kind of looks beautiful?
It is gorgeous looking.
Yeah.
So we only have 4 of these, and when they're gone, they're gone.
Is this like a 4-player game, or is
I believe it is 4
of the games, or 4 of the games with a bonus thing?
4 of the games with the bonus thing.
Okay.
I don't know when the regular edition will come out.
Gotcha.
This is special right now.
Special, yep. We don't do a ton of Kickstarters, but I got on this one, and I'm glad we did. So, we got the new Shadowrun core rulebook Hong Kong edition. I've seen people being somewhat confused about these. This is the thing that Shadowrun does every time they sort of go out of print on a core rulebook.
Yeah.
They put a new version out where they, clean up some stuff, maybe tweak a couple rules, and then have a section in the back on a certain place in... Yep. The first one was Seattle, obviously. Yep. They did, I want to say, a Chicago one.
I believe that was correct.
And I feel like there was another one that I'm not thinking of.
But this one's
Hong Kong. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. If they're going to reprint it anyway, I kind of like it. I would imagine if you were like a longtime player, the notion of getting it for the lore, having to buy a new core game sounds a little much. But I also like their setting and all that stuff, so maybe I'll give them some slack.
I would think the way they would do this, it probably is a PDF that's either cheap or free on RPG.
That would be. I think that would be a cool thing to do.
You can get it in case you just.
But they've always had some very cool lore. I'm tempted to just thumb through this later on and check it out.
We got a game called Inkwell, where you are you're taking supplies from a shared mat. So you're getting colored ink cubes, gold leaf, and technique cards to do the Abbot is ticking down the game time. You're like building, you're doing some...
Abbot, are you doing like illustrated manuscripts?
Beware if the Abbot becomes upset. He may force you to move forward before you're finished.
Yeah.
It looks like you're working on pages. You're doing illuminated manuscripts.
That's kind of
and sharing
cool.
resources. Yeah, kind of a cool
And I'll
idea.
be like, I get the gold leaf, Randy, not you. Your player is shut down. The Abbot is angry at you.
The Abbot is angry. No.
You have angered the Abbot.
You've got Abbot. Goodbye.
We've got Dragon Shield gave us these strong boxes. They hold 100 plus double sleeve cards, and they're like deck boxes. I haven't seen these. Nick, you saw these when they came in,
Yeah, they're
right?
really nice. I mean,
Are those on the new game shelf?
No,
they're on the Dragon Shield.
Okay.
Face out.
and they are they're new from Dragon Shield. So
Yeah.
multicolors.
Yeah, there's, I think, 5 different colors. Red, green, blue, black, clear.
Okay. I think we're out of the clear already.
Yeah. They're selling well, but, I mean, it's quality. It's Dragon Shield.
Yeah,
they
Dragon
know what
Shield's
they
really
do.
good.
So,
Also, they're stackable.
Cool.
And the lid has room to show off your commander, leader, or another notable card, so you can tell decks apart. That was a little slidey thing.
Yeah,
that's
a
cool.
big thing now for a lot of deck boxes.
Nice.
That's got a kind of a screen.
This is a great write-up. The vacuum seal uses a powerful magic known as physics to keep the box securely closed.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is physics in
It
quotation
is in
marks?
quotation marks.
Oh, I like it.
From
Magic.
Asmodee, we got Clash of Clans, the Epic Raid. None of us have played Clash of Clans, right?
That's the
mobile game?
The mobile game. I have not.
Dave sometimes does mobile games. I thought maybe he might have tried it.
I do. I don't know what that one is. Is this like Samurai Clans?
No, it's Viking Clans.
Oh,
It
interesting.
was like super popular a couple years ago.
Yeah,
think.
I still see ads for it everywhere.
Well,
Basically,
I came very late to the game on. Oh my gosh, what's that tower defense game I was playing?
I don't know, but this is Kingdom Rush.
Yeah,
This feels like something like that. So basically, you build defenses, deploy units, and raid bases. You build your village, unleash your troops. It's an engine builder. This sounds like a tower defense
maybe
game.
I'll have to look into it.
But this is the tabletop version of the mobile game.
Yep.
And it looks pretty cool.
A lot of these video game kind of ports to board game have gone over quite well.
They've been pretty good.
Stardew Valley, especially.
Yeah, Stardew Valley. I played Stardew Valley, and it was a ton of fun.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I've never
cool.
played the
Did
video
you become
game.
the Stardew?
I became the Valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I forget. Stardew Valley, is that a variant of like a sort of farming game?
Yes, so the farming game, yeah.
It's one of those like kind of
And
cozy
community,
games.
it's a cozy community, building game. Yeah.
Was that the kind of thing that you were doing in the game?
Yes.
Placing workers or something like that?
Yes, although it was a
grow
little
crops
competitive because you
things?
are you're getting, different people, you're getting different resources, so it was a little more competitive, but it's still cozy.
I don't feel like Clash of Clans is cozy.
It's probably not cozy.
But I bet the port is pretty good.
Yeah. Then we got a game called Kitsu, which is a trick taker. It's a 1v1 or in teams of 2v2 or 3v3.
Okay.
The Kitsune, fox people.
Yep. Fox people.
Are divided into 2 clans, the Zenko blue cards and Yako orange cards. You get 1 clan at the beginning of the game, but you have to play with your clan's card and the ones of the opposing card to win. A round is a series of tricks, and at the end you compare the total value of the orange cards against the blue cards, and somehow Virdo wins.
Okay.
So there's a modified trick taker. There's a lot of trick taking games.
Yes.
And they do seem to be pretty popular. All right.
The old cliche of rival. What kind of
Kitsune.
rival kitsune
Yes.
trick taking?
Well, the fox is tricky. Does that make sense, right?
That's true.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk comics this week. Not a ton of number ones, actually.
That is true.
But a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Probably the big number one this week is Spider-Man Long Way Home number 1. This is sort of tied into the movie in that.
And it's also like, in a way, kind of like a Marvel Elseworlds.
Yeah, it is.
It's literally not in main continuity.
It's not. It is by Jonathan Hickman and Andy Kubert. Is it Andy Kubert right now? Or it's Adam Kubert?
And the way it ties into the movie is that it features characters who are also in the
Adam Kubert.
movie.
Oh, that makes sense. I like Adam Kubert better than Andy.
So it's got Spider-Man, it's got the Punisher, and it's got the Hulk.
Yes, but
Even
they're different versions.
On all the previews I've seen, I only see Banner. I don't see the Hulk in the Spider-Man trailers.
Yes, that's true. I'm sure he's going to be the Hulk at some point.
Maybe. I actually didn't assume that. I thought it was just going to be
I
Banner.
feel like this is Hickman's version of Predator.
Definitely. They raid. The special ops group is in a helicopter, during which I assume Long Tall Sally's playing.
Yes.
Yep.
And we're introduced to everybody. I don't know who anybody is except for Lieutenant Frank Castle, the Punisher, who has like the white skull painted on his face.
Mm-hmm. And he is actually, his codename is Punisher.
His codename is Punisher. And
they're about to raid an AIM base where like something is like a cosmic cube.
They're supposed to grab some package. I don't know what it is.
Correct.
Right. And there's some twists and turns there as to what happens when they arrive.
Well, the first twist, though, you can say is that Hydra is attacking it as they go in.
Right.
So it's like a 3-way battle.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely it has the vibe of, when they trash the guerrilla troopers encampment in Predator. Like there's some of that energy to it. I don't quite know like what, Hickman is kind of known for his world building and very sort of thinky things. Like what made him think like, I want to do like a kind of hard 80s action version story with Spider-Man, Punisher, and Hulk in it.
It's kind of a strange book, but this is one of my favorite things Hickman's written.
Well, it's very accessible.
I like the sort of 80s action. I think Kubert's version of the Hulk is particularly good. Mm-hmm. If you ever want to see the Hulk throw down against a bunch of special ops soldiers, here's your book.
I'm going to say something crazy is that I think Kubert did a really good rethink of Hydra's costumes.
I agree. That's actually a really good look.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Very striking.
Adam Kubert does fantastic work here. I actually think I've always thought when he's at his best, he is better than his brother. But Andy Kubert is more reliable. Adam Kubert, I believe, has deadline troubles and his style changes.
Which Kubert did the Batman Predator? Was that Andy or Adam?
I think that was Andy.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. I mix them up so much that it's hard. I actually can't distinguish them.
Yeah. Well, trust me, Adam Kubert's better.
All right, I'll take your word on it. You seem to have confidence. So,
yeah.
But Spider-Man is in this. He gets brought in. Yep. So
kind of a different take on Spider-Man than you've seen.
We'll see where that goes.
I almost expected this to secretly be like Ultimate Spider-Man or something, because Hickman wrote Ultimate Spider-Man. But it is not. It's just an alternate Spider-Man.
Yep.
From Image and Ghost Machine, we have The $1 Trillion Kid, not Elon Musk.
What weird timing that I think Jeff Johns is like, well, nobody's going to make it to $1 trillion anytime soon.
Oops.
Or whoever's writing this. I don't know if it's Johns.
It's
Johns
and Tomasi.
But my understanding, aside from the fact that this is leading into a short crossover that may be part of a bigger crossover, I don't know, with the Ghost Machine titles, which, that's Geiger and Rockefellers and all that, that it is about a kid who's kind of like this Richie Rich type in their world who is like funding metahuman superhero stuff.
Yep.
I think it's...
and he's a genius. He's actually like a genius inventor.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Are they? Is Johns really clinging to the idea of the benevolent billionaire?
He does seem to be.
Yeah, a little bit.
So this is going to be a crossover. It says at the end,
the benevolent trillionaire.
It does say at the end that part 2 will be in Hornsby and Halo number 14, and is building up to the Unbelievables, which I believe is going to be his sort of super team.
I think so
in this universe.
I believe that is
so. If you've been reading Red Code and all those,
you probably want to check this
is going to link all that stuff together.
Does he have a big old robot?
He has a robot butler. He's a giant robot butler / bodyguard.
I will say the art is quite nice.
Does he wear little Richie Rich hot pants?
No, they're dungarees that are rolled up at the bottom.
Okay, well,
and high top sneakers.
Well, just something to consider for future issues.
He does have a little missing tooth in the center.
A downloadable skin for the video game.
Yes. The art on this is really nice. Stefano Simeone. I don't know who that is, but
yeah, I remember flipping through it, and the art looked pretty good.
This is a series we don't carry a lot of. It's the Hard Case Crime from Titan. And somebody requested an order. We decided to try it out. Is a thing called Gun Honey, which seems to be sort of a mercenary spy who's a hot girl.
It's like a spicy thriller.
It is a spicy thriller. She is there's nudity, there's sex, there's lots of violence, there's a motorcycle chase, there's a helicopter. He'd jump on helicopter.
All the things that a growing child needs.
If you want a sort of saucy fantasy action thing, this is your thing. We have let's talk about Concrete, Dave.
Okay, yeah. So Concrete, if you has been around since I think 1986, but is kind of under the radar. But it was actually like I was telling one of our staffers this the other day. Mm-hmm. It was one of the cornerstones of Dark Horse Comics when they began. It was before Star Wars and stuff like that, or before they had all the licenses, or maybe kind of concurrent with that. It was their kind of indie breakout.
Yeah,
it was their
It was Dark Horse from the origin, right?
It was always Dark Horse.
He's never moved anywhere.
Nope.
Never went to Image during the 90s. Yeah,
super loyal. Yeah. So Paul Chadwick created this character in 1986, and it's kind of in our real world. And it's almost like if you imagine a normal person finding themselves in a body like the Thing.
Yep.
And this guy is like kind of even like he's normal, but his normal is that he was a speechwriter for a senator. So he's kind of a thoughtful, sort of politically active sort of dude. It was basically like a weird alien thing.
So he gets sort of abducted, right?
Yeah, they don't even tell you this for a little while in the comic, but it is like a big rocky looking body like the Thing. And then once it happens, the government kind of tells him, it's like, we need to, we can't have people asking all these questions about UFOs, so let's saturate you in the media until people get sick of you.
Right. So
and so that is like one of the very earliest stories is he goes on all these talk shows and stuff like that, and they make a bunch of trashy merchandise. And then he can kind of get on with his life.
Yep.
And then he's like, well, I was always this kind of like pudgy, nerdy, thinky guy, and like now I'm gonna go try and climb Mount Everest.
Yep.
Or I'm gonna like put my his size behind activism and do environmental activist stuff.
Was there something involving the Joshua Tree? I felt like there was somewhere who was out in the desert or something too.
Well, I mean that's what this story is.
Okay, all right.
So
maybe that's what I'm thinking.
There's a he's going out to the sort of what is that? He's in Monument Valley. That's is that Utah? They're going through Colorado.
Yes, I think that's right.
What do they call it? The Great Sand Dunes National Park.
Okay.
And basically, it's Concrete, the scientist who's been his handler sort of since 1986, that he's had a crush on the whole time, and through strange circumstances in the last miniseries, essentially has a child with.
Yeah.
That's kind of like an alien child that they're not quite sure how to handle. And then his guy who's like his sort of assistant, Larry, who was at the time like a creative writing like major in college, who ended up becoming kind of, Concrete's right-hand man. Literally, he has difficulty with things like writing and stuff. They have to get specific computers and keyboards and stuff for him. And this is a story that, I know this from the solicit, even though it doesn't quite happen until sort of the end of this. They go out to just chill in the desert and like look at some beautiful things. He actually has like this enhanced vision and stuff too, so he has a unique experiences with that. But something happens to him in the desert where there's like a big lightning storm. He gets like actually struck by it, and it has a weird interaction with his alien physiology. Mm-hmm. And he then is like, it seems like he may go kind of a little crazy, like he's attacking people nearby.
One of the things I always like about Concrete is that Chadwick does seem to like, he doesn't want it to be like he's reliably super strong and invulnerable. He likes to find ways that like have the mystery of the body. Like, you're not going to get a rules for like how Concrete's body works.
No, this but is very over much time, about, I've seen a fair amount of how it works.
He does the sort of scientific thing of like, this is what happens, but there's always like lightning striking him, at least always something that can interact with him weirdly.
Right.
So that he's not like, you get the problem you sometimes have the vulnerable characters where they're like, oh, well, it's about whether or not he can be hurt. This is all about, it's very internal.
Right. And that is like, this is like, you are getting his thoughts a lot of the times, his musings. Mm-hmm. There's a sequence in here where they find an arrowhead, and he sort of just fascinates him, and he imagines like the skeleton of the native who was carrying that arrow kind of rising up to see the world as it is now, coming up out of the desert.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, there's like some other campers nearby who are just like sliding down the dunes on boxes and kind of being, he thinks, obnoxious. And Concrete is like, imagines the person comes up and then goes back into burying itself. And so, but you get a lot of his internal thoughts on this. And I feel like it's sort of unspoken here, but I think he's being a little bit avoidant about his kid. There's some other interesting things going on in here. There's actually some very beautiful artwork in it too.
He's a really good artist.
Yeah, he writes it and draws it. Yeah, it's kind of one of those like, would I say that you could really come in on this if you've never read it before? Not great.
Yeah, it is weird to do like a number one, and there is the trade is back. The first trade is back in print. So if this sounds interesting to you and want you to try it out,
yes,
we do have the trade paperback that is the start of it all.
It opens with a story that led the science fiction author Harlan Ellison to become a big booster for it back in the 80s.
Yep,
and say at the time that it was the best comic being published anywhere. So it's like gotten a lot of praise.
Yep.
You know what's one of the weirdest fans that I know of Concrete, Randy? Garth Ennis.
That is weird because it feels so not a piece with his style.
Yeah, it is like thoughtful and chill and sort of like lightly intellectual, not too much, but a little bit. And it's just everything that The Boys isn't. But like I've heard him talk about it like in an interview at some point where he was just so taken with the craft, and he like I think he felt as drawn into Concrete as some people will feel drawn into his stuff. So, yeah, just one of those interesting things. Yeah. Anyway, this
Garth Ennis got depths. What are you talking about?
I guess his depth is in the bottle, in a bottle of beer.
We've seen him. He did that Homeland thing for Hellblazer.
At his
what was that post-apocalyptic thing he just did?
Oh my god, the war.
The war.
I mean,
that was still
Randy
very
and I
Garth
are permanently
Ennis.
scarred by that.
Yeah, that thing was dark.
But I feel like that was more like. Contemplative.
Right. He is, but it is just like his speed is almost always sort of like he may tell a deeper story, usually kind of tends to be about guys. Yeah. I think the way guys interact with the world.
But it's usually going to end in, but everyone's terrible.
But everyone's terrible, and then like here's
Hitman did not end with everyone being terrible.
It ended with almost everybody dying, Nick.
But they were terrible.
Garth Ennis has his depths.
He does, and then he has The Boys, which has none of it.
I need to read Concrete. I never did. It never grabbed me. So I was kind of like,
it is not a grabber. Is the thing like it's good?
This kind of thing.
When I read it, it was a grabber.
Interesting.
It's one of these like I would compare it. Here's a very weird comparison to make. You know how like Settlers of Catan and all our Euro board games look boring but are actually really well done?
Yes.
And then you play them and you're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Or Wingspan, or pick a game.
Sure.
Any game that doesn't sound immediately super cool.
Concrete is the Carcassonne of comics.
Concrete is the Carcassonne or Settlers of Catan or Wingspan of Catonics.
I like that comparison because that actually makes me a little bit more curious. Yeah. I mean, I've always seen the craft, and his art is stellar.
Nick, to answer your question, I think I was 18 or 19 when I read it.
That's good. Yeah, a little younger, and I don't think you were plugged into this thing.
Probably not. And the reason I got into it was because there was a volume of it that was like the collection of, I think the short stories that he had done. At the time it was coming out, he was doing an ongoing monthly series or maybe a bi-monthly series that did about 12 issues, and he was writing short stories in Dark Horse Presents, their anthology.
Yep.
And by the way, I always liked his short stories maybe the best. That is, like, he is one of the best short story people in all of comics.
It's a hard thing to do.
It is. The very first Concrete story is an almost perfect little short story that's like 10 pages or something. But there was like a half-off thing on like one of the graphic novels. And I guess that's when I was starting to be like, oh, I need to spread my wings. I need to try some new comics. And that hit at the right time. So
I believe mine for that was like Stray Bullets.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. All right. We also have a new Hellboy in Love. I think it's a miniseries.
Yep.
We have...
Once upon a time, Hellboy had a romantic thing with... What's her name? Is it
Liz? Yeah, I believe that's who the Hellboy in Love thing is.
Okay, I didn't know if that was still going
It is, yep.
Okay.
There's a new What If. This is the second issue of a series of one-shots. This is What If Thor got Spider-Man's symbiote suit?
I think that's a cool idea.
It's written by Thor writer Torrin Grunbeck. Has really nice art by Sergio Devia.
So this idea seems stupid to me.
It makes sense, though, Dave. As they do it, it's like they're on the battle world. And
okay.
And Thor and Intelligent Hulk, because it was Intelligent Hulk, are at the machine.
Well, Thor loses his cape.
And it's before Spidey goes to get the costume, and so he goes to the device they've all been using to get costumes made, which was where the symbiote came from. But they weren't all getting symbiotes,
right?
But just
I actually don't know if that's ever been explained to the point where I know why a symbiote was loaded into this costume.
It wasn't. It was just was there.
Oh,
this was a thing later on.
It was like, I want to buddy up with you.
Yeah, I don't think, because the symbiote wasn't a symbiote on Bat in Secret Wars. That wasn't a Jim Shooter thing. That was when he got back to Earth and Roger Stern introduced it, I think.
So like when Shooter first did it, he might have just been like, Spider-Man needs a cool costume.
It was just costume, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so Thor happens to be the one who gets it in this?
Yep. Yes, he's trying to replace his cape, and he gets kind of a cool costume, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I gotta admit, that's kind of cool looking.
And everyone's like, this is a little bit dramatic, Thor, and so basically he has that. He goes back to Asgard, and he starts acting a little aggro.
Yeah.
And
does he destroy Asgard?
He does not.
Okay.
The gripe I have, and it's not surprising, is that
not enough long tongue action?
No. In the 80s when this happened, it was like we wouldn't have seen what's his name? Null. And they bring Null in. And I get why they did, because
the lore is now retrofit on
but
them.
It feels like, you know how in the old,
like if they wanted the vibe to be like it, they couldn't have done Null.
You know, in the old days when they would do a what if, they would jump decades sometimes.
It's true.
They didn't feel like they did this here, but just Null was just there. And I'm like, I wish they had shown Thor in the 90s, like just a little 2-page montage of, and then it spread to Thunderstrike. Right. And he had it. And then go to Null in the modern day. It
somewhat makes sense to me. Now, I haven't read it, but it somewhat makes sense in the sense that Thor is a god, Null is a god.
Null would take notice earlier. It makes sense. But I also, in the writing, I would have liked to say, in this universe, because the Watcher's narrating it.
Yeah.
I feel like the writing's not quite there. But it's an interesting concept. If you like Asgardian stuff, you like Thor being kind of a badass,
or if you're like a fan of Secret Wars, I guess from back in the day, this sounds like this is kind of like a weird little.
Unfortunately, it's not. The Secret Wars stuff is done after like 3 pages.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. I would have liked more of the Secret Wars vibe.
Yeah.
Transitioning into the Thor vibe.
Yeah.
But Grunbeck is not a Secret Wars writer. Grunbeck is a Thor writer.
Right.
And if Christos Gage was writing this,
if Christos Gage was writing this, would have been great.
But here's the thing. I feel like this fits the what if bill more than anything else.
It is absolutely for whoever it's for, but I'm not amongst that audience. Yeah. But it is done well.
But I grew up on what if.
Yeah, same.
I do like that they're using actual what if questions
instead of just what if X-Men.
There was a time they would just do like what if Wolverine enemy of the state, and then inside would be like 5 different stories about how this could have happened a little differently.
Yeah.
Like, no, go ahead and ask the big question.
It's supposed to be one question. Yeah. Like, this was kind of a fun one though. I just like to say the way it was executed is much more for the Thor fans than the Venom fans.
Right.
True.
And I'm not always a big Thor fan.
Have they ever done this seems obvious. I feel like they probably have done it. Like, what if Galactus had destroyed the Earth on his, like, what if Reed hadn't stopped him?
I feel like they have.
I know they've done, like...
It would be a version of basically... like people from Earth are so often figure into now intergalactic stuff.
Yeah.
Like they've stopped endless menaces and things like that. And like all those things would happen. But it'd be interesting to do a story where it'd be like, oh, well, the Guardians of the Galaxy handled this, or the Shi'ar Imperial Guard handled that.
Yeah.
But they didn't handle like that.
We have a new Mad Cave book by Steve Orlando called Land of Never.
Yep.
The premise on this is interesting. It's a disgraced detective who's retired. His daughter, Wendy, has been disappeared from her room. He saw a hulking figure at the window. And then there's a cryptid that people are calling the Floating Man. And so it's sort of a cryptid take on Peter Pan.
I don't think that's necessarily super obvious from that description. Because like, I don't always just hear Wendy and think, oh, that's...
Well, so let me give you the first line and see what you hear.
Yeah.
6 months ago, Jim Hoke's daughter Wendy disappeared from her room. All Jim caught was a glimpse of a hulking figure at the window. That to me, that I went immediately to Peter Pan after that.
Oh, I would not.
Really?
No, because I know that that's the premise of it. It's kind of this twisted.
If you had the additional line in the land, it's called Land of Never.
I guess so.
That would make it a little more obvious, but I don't immediately.
That's what I jumped to immediately.
Yeah, no. But that said, when I was making the sign for this yesterday, I did think like a cryptid take on, Peter Pan, where he's like, there's some kind of creepy, almost like a slasher mask, Michael Myers looking guy who comes to your window.
Yeah.
I think that's a neat idea.
Yeah.
Steve Orlando's the dude who's been doing Scarlet Witch lately, stuff like that.
I'm a heathen. I don't like Peter Pan. So.
Yeah, his
Have you ever read the original book by J.M. Barrie?
No, I've not.
It's very cleverly written. Some of the writing in it is so fun that it might win you over.
So I'm looking at the panel where Wendy gets taken.
Yep.
And Peter Pan is in fact like a hulking. You remember the guy from Vlad from Hack Slash?
Yeah.
He's kind of got that. He's got this baby doll mask on him.
Oh right, I
it's
saw
very
it looked like
creepy.
It looked like the doll in what is it? Happy Death Day?
Yeah,
Or the mascot.
But on like an 8-foot tall dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is a creepy version of him.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're
Land of Never.
Then we've got
if you've got tattoos of Michael Myers, you have to get this.
yes. We've got the 616-day Marvel Mystery Bag. This is because 616 is the Marvel Universe,
Right.
June 16th, which is actually Tuesday.
Yep.
They do these blind bags that have a cardboard Doctor Doom mask,
Yes.
a copy of Doom Quest, either the foil variant or an original sketch variant. So
So Doom Quest has already come out?
has already come out.
Okay.
And then there's one of 3 facsimile editions, all of which had Doom in them with new Doom themed variant covers. So, an interesting blind bag experiment. We'll see if anybody wants those or not.
If you're a fan of Doom.
If you're a fan of Doom.
Yep.
We got Lobo #1 facsimile edition, the first issue of the Simon Bisley, Alan Grant Lobo.
Good stuff.
Fun.
And the core influence, I would say, on the current Lobo
For sure.
series. So
We
Lobo
have
and Dog.
we have the second printing of Absolute Green Arrow #1, as well as the second issue.
Yep, just in time, which I think we
all really liked. I think it's probably my pick of the week.
We also have variant covers of the second print.
Yep.
I think a foil and another cover.
I think it's just a foil.
It was just a foil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, slasher-minded. Speaking of Michael Myers,
Mhm.
it's clearly a weird time. Slasher meets Luigi Mangione version of Ollie is an interesting take, and maybe the take that makes the most sense given what Ollie has always stood for in the comics. Now it is structured as a mystery. We don't know who he is, and with sort of Dinah Lance, is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Black Canary.
Yep.
As the sort of
Working
investigator who's looking into it.
Working for the bad guys.
Working for the bad guys. Very much in the kind of the tradition of sort of some detective stories. You know, sometimes that even Spider Noir has him heavily working for the bad guy.
But the bad guys are winning in the Absolute Universe, essentially.
Right,
so
right.
it's kind of, you are there.
And she has actually been, as much as she's like a physical powerhouse and all this, she has kind of been intimidated into this because she needs to like pay for medical bills. Like it's interesting for her like father, I think.
I kind of like seeing the Green Arrow history lens through the Absolute. So we're getting a lot of like random characters.
I'm enjoying it.
Just some of the characters you'll see, I guess, are Connor Hawk, Mia Dearden.
Yep.
What is it?
Dearden.
Yeah.
Malcolm Merlin.
Yep. That was interesting. It continues to go strong and have some kind of fun twists and turns. Like you might start formulating some ideas in this, but you're probably not going to know what's going on.
We don't know. It's still a mystery.
It's a really big week for Absolutes in general.
It is. There's Absolute Batman, which has the Absolute Two-Face, more of the Robins, and something else.
There is something very notable in it.
Notable
that is probably going to make this sell faster than usual when people know.
And I am the only one reading Absolute Flash in this room, but
I'm going to read it in trade.
It's really good. The art's really good. Linda gives him the Flash name in this issue. Finally, he's resisting being called the Flash.
Okay.
And they're doing
is
some
it
more
still the same art from the original?
I think it's a different artist.
Oh, okay, just curious.
And they're doing stuff with Grodd, which is one of their best editions with Grodd as a little monkey.
Yep.
But Grodd has a daddy.
Oh.
And Daddy Grodd has the psychic powers.
Oh.
So I have to ask, does Flash still kind of fit with the episode where it's very dark? Or is it?
It is
a little more.
It's still a little bit. It's not as dark as Batman or Green Arrow.
But it feels a little bit like I've read the first trade worth. It kind of feels like almost like it is a weird comparison, but like how it might have taken place in the TV show Heroes or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like there are more like there's the rogues wear costumes and stuff in this, but they are like a sort of government hit squad. Yeah. You know, boomerangs are kind of like drones or something like that.
Currently, it's also, there's a little bit of mystery and super science, that kind of thing. Wally is on the trail of Ray Palmer.
Oh, that's fun.
Who was doing some kind of research that seems to indicate that in the microscope, he's got one of those boards of like, he's looking into the underworld. and there is like the Omega symbol. So maybe the Flash may be the first one to encounter Darkseid in this universe.
Oh, that's interesting.
So some interesting stuff. A lot of good mysteries building up.
I do wonder, like, are they going to find out sort of our universe is infected with Darkseid?
I feel like at some point they have to.
That's kind of interesting. And then, like, what do you do when you find out you're in the evil universe?
You unite.
That's what would we do if we were to find that things aren't as peachy as we think?
Man, I'd be so relieved. Wouldn't it be such a relief to find out we're in the evil universe?
You know what? I saw this thing the other day that did I tell you about this, Randy? I think it's kind of like pop science-y.
Uh-huh.
That's and I didn't get around to reading it, but I'm going to try and look into it. It was from I think Vice did a story on it.
Yeah.
The idea is that there could be an alternate reality that is like almost like sending its karmic bad mojo to our reality. Mm-hmm. We are, in fact, getting the bad hand-me-down alternatives from.
I blame the Weasel and the Hadron Collider.
Randy, you think anybody gets that reference?
Surely.
I mean, I got it.
I know because I know you've made it before, but otherwise,
do you get it?
I barely remember the story.
Interesting. I see it referenced all the time.
So. I don't see it referenced all the time, but I remember it.
Yes. For those who don't know, because Dave always wants me to explain, and I will. Even though people are on Google right now furiously searching.
Right. Or you could make a great story out of it.
No, I can make an okay story.
Okay.
There was, when they turned on the Hadron Collider in Switzerland or wherever it is, this is why I shouldn't tell the story, by the way. Someone's like, it's not that, it's this and this. Someone's going to email me all the things I got wrong.
Yeah.
So anyway, in the Bahamas, there was a Hadron Collider, and it was turned on, and a weasel fell into it and screwed the whole thing up. And the theory is that shifted us all into an alternate universe.
Right.
And I say, and it was in 2015.
Yeah.
And I say, that makes more sense than anything else I've ever heard.
Pokemon Go was our last chance at resolving things.
Yep, it's true.
Didn't work.
It failed, like Babylon 5. We've got a second printing of Tigress Island, or a fourth printing, actually, of Tigress Island #1. This is the sort of prison exploitation, bad girls.
Yep.
It's 4 issues in. This will get us up to the entire story arc. So if you missed any of Tigress Island, we have all of it.
It's like a little buzz book.
Yeah. Other single issues, we got the second issue of Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is by Dan Slott and Marcus Toe. This is the taking place in the Brand New Day continuity that Dan Slott helped co-create. Yep. And it is going to tie a little bit in the movie, but it's
kind of like a lost story from, what was that? Was that 20 years ago?
Oh, God, was it really?
I think it might have been.
At any rate, this has Punisher, it has Spider-Man. It also is using Mr. Negative and Feast, two of the better people that
two additions from the era.
Yep, as well as Captain Watanabe. These are all stuff that was heavy in the video game.
Yeah.
So if you like the Spider-Man video game, I would recommend this.
Yeah, I feel like that's maybe the best tie-in to it. Here's my favorite part. Spider-Man is sneaking into some high-rise to do some spying. He sneaks into a room to avoid a guard, and there's a woman in there eating food. And in the darkness, with just a small table lamp on.
Yep.
And she's like, "You shouldn't be here." And he's like, "Yeah." And she says, "I'm not allowed to bring food or drinks inside. I won't tell if you won't."
Yep.
Basically, they make a little deal to pretend each other weren't there.
Yep. And Mr. Negative has touched the Punisher and turned him into Nega Punisher.
Yes.
Which Spidey says we need to workshop that name.
Yeah, I feel uncomfortable.
Need to workshop that.
We got the second issue of If Destruction Be Our Lot, the long-named book from Matthew Rosenberg, over at Image, where a Abraham Lincoln robot is in a world full of robots.
Oh, right.
And is kind of trying to make his way without getting destroyed and trying to live up to what his purpose is. He's not sure what it is. Everybody else is like, we're all robots. What are you doing?
But there's conspiracies about the robots that humans are destroyed. They don't exist anymore.
Yep.
So
it's interesting, post-apocalyptic sci-fi, I would say. Odin #2, which is the reporter undercover with a white supremacist organization that went supernatural and very bad at the end of the first issue.
They're all a bunch of Scandinavian dudes and guys and girls.
Yep. Nazis.
Again, I think Green Room, if you've seen that movie.
They're wanting to meet Odin.
They're going to try and summon Odin, but various ones of them sort of think it's just, BS or just something fun to go do, but not real. Some of them think it's real. But they definitely seem to be engaging with supernatural forces, as in the first issue. They kind of came out of a haze and realized that they had, eaten their friend?
Yeah, cannibal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now they're trying to figure out how to deal with it.
Now they're out in the snow, and they don't know how to get out, and there will be further supernatural encounters in it. But basically, it's kind of watching Nazis kind of get what's coming to them. But because the lead character is an undercover reporter who is just trying to write an expose on them, they're not all terrible. And
right.
She does give a somewhat nuanced take on the various personalities involved in it. It's co-written by James Tynion, right? And so it has some of that nuance that you would expect from him.
Battle Beast number 10 is this week. It was also almost a pick of mine. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been in a situation where two people who hate each other are there and you're just trying to not have them go at each other?
Sure.
That's kind of what the Alien is doing in Invincible Battle Beast, because Conquest, the sort of, what was he, the active genocider of the...
He's one of them, yeah. I mean, all the Viltrumites
but he's a Viltrumite, and he is psychotic. Like, they send him when they want to have, like, when they want to make a bloody show of things.
Yeah, he wanted to basically collect the brother and sister monster duo that Battle Beast dispatched.
But now, so he and Battle Beast sit down to dinner.
What do you mean collect them?
He wanted to bring them to the Viltrumite universe.
Yeah, basically they were powerful enough that they were like, well, we could use these people.
Sorry, did you say Viltrumite universe?
The Viltrumite planet, whatever.
Yeah, the planet.
Well, it's not really important. What's important is this is about Conquest and Battle Beast really talking the entire time about how much they want to fight each other. And the king trying to get them not to do it, which goes about as well as you'd expect.
Yep.
Also, there is, for those who have read Invincible, which I am not one of those, I haven't read all the way through, Conquest is the guy who kills Battle Beast.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
He is not.
Okay, I thought he was.
Nope.
Oh, it's one of the other Viltrumites.
Yes.
Okay, so, but he throws down with Conquest at some point, right? Or does he not?
No, he doesn't, actually.
Oh,
This is a first-time meeting, I believe.
So this is him getting cock-blocked as in a fight?
Well, Battle Beast wants to die. He wants to die in a fight.
Yep.
And he's very excited to meet someone he thinks might be able to kill him.
Yep.
And Conquest likes to challenge and likes to kill people. So they're a perfect match for each other.
I guess when Battle Beast died in the thing, that he was still wanting to go out fighting.
Yeah.
So we're not exactly going to see a character arc of him being like, maybe life is worth living.
Nope.
Or something like that.
No. He goes out fighting.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they have done is kind of like the Punisher model when Garth Ennis was writing it, which is that the Punisher is very set in what he is and doesn't particularly change. So you surround him with interesting and weird people.
Yep.
Whether it's the somewhat comedic ones in his first Punisher story or, weird villains like Barracuda and stuff like that in his more serious later stuff.
It was a really good issue, though. I liked it a lot. And if you're an Invincible fan, you definitely want to read this one.
Yes.
Superman Unlimited continues the Superboy, Reign of the Superboys. This has John Kent as Tomorrow Man because he's hiding his identity.
I did read this, Randy, because we talked about this yesterday.
Yep.
I see that there is a sort of big reveal at this.
There's a big reveal at the end.
It might slightly encumber my my hopes and dreams as to what they were going to do with it.
I'm really interested in seeing what they do.
This one's a big one.
I really like this issue. I really like what they've been doing. I like the focus on Lois Lane and her sort of investigative. I like seeing the Steelworks crew of Lana Lang and John Irons, which are married now. This feels like Slott is really enjoying playing in the Superman universe other people have established.
There's a neat bit in this where it shows some civilians when Superboy and
Tomorrow
Man arrive on the scene, and this is the Superboy that hasn't been seen in a while, the younger one, and they're showing up using basically the superhero equivalent of the Shazam app.
It's called Shazap, which, by the way, in the DC universe, you can't call the app Shazam. It's going to have some problems.
Right, and it's also too meta.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's supposed to identify superheroes, and it has it's one of those things where basically it has some trouble with them.
Yep.
It's like we don't know who this guy is, who Tomorrow Man is. And there's when it's like, oh yeah, Superboy, the younger one, also hasn't shown up in a while, been around for years. But anyway, yeah, there's some notable stuff that happens in this that, even though it's not what I wanted, is an interesting turn. I'm curious to see where they go with it.
Yeah. Lobo number 4, we mentioned earlier. Lobo had a facsimile. He also has a new issue this week. This one has him throwing down against Supergirl,
right?
Which is definitely a nod to the movie.
Setting up to the movie.
And Nick and I were talking about this, I think. Was it you and me talking about this?
Yep.
This Supergirl is not the same Supergirl as...
Right.
Yeah, it's
not
like...
the one that's in the Sophie Campbell.
She feels like the Woman of Tomorrow Supergirl. She's a little rough and tumble.
A little more attitude.
I really like the way that these two worked. And, of course, Dog and Crypto are a lot of fun together.
They are.
This is a blast. I'm enjoying the Lobo series of the Next Level books. This is my second favorite behind Fury or Firestorm that you both hate now.
It's true.
Yes. By the way, it's been fascinating I'm on like a Firestorm message board, and it's kind of, I feel like the people who like Firestorm, part of what they like sometimes is his power level.
Yeah.
And the idea that this is taking that seriously and showing like, oh, he could be the most powerful. He could like the Silver Surfer of the DC universe.
Yep.
That is, I think, grabbing them more than they are being put off by the fact that he is now a callous, no personality killer. They're like, he's powerful finally. So I don't know what to make of it. I guess we haven't like talked explicitly about what the big reveal was in that last issue, and I suppose I don't want to really spoil it. There's a notable thing that sort of is like takes a darker turn for the character. I can't fault Lemire's storytelling. His storytelling is compelling and interesting throughout it. And even in that last issue, which had a thing that I was like, yeah, I definitely don't like this development. I thought there was a lot of interesting scenes, and so I'm for sure going to give it through to issue 6. I got to at least see how this first arc wraps up.
We also have from Next Level Batwoman number 4 this week, which I know y'all both enjoyed.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Also has a notable answer as to what the deal is in over in Greece, where we have seen Kate Kane in like sort of counseling, but we've also seen Batwoman in action throughout the city dealing with this kind of crime cult.
People.
She's been killing people, which is not her usual MO, although her dad is like she learned military stuff from her dad, and he probably wouldn't have any issues with it. He is showing up in the comic. He is a notable supporting character in it. But there is a big reveal about that.
Also, the question guest stars.
Yeah, I really liked seeing Montoya in there. Yep. I like how artist Danny draws her, and it was kind of entertaining to see Kate's dad patching up a bullet wound on her. Yep. And them talking, and question is being kind of her snarky self, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess I see what my daughter likes about you." He's like kind of like he knows his daughter's got kind of a type. Yeah, and that is to say, hard-headed women.
New issue of G.I. Joe. You forget Joshua Williamson came up doing like Dark Ride and Birthright and
kind of raucous horror.
He likes his horror stuff, so he's doing sort of a weird ghosty thing with an energon-powered crystal ball. But he uses that as a window to show us more about Risk and Mercer, and to put Baroness and Destro together for the first time.
I thought this was all good scenes.
It's a great issue. Fantastic art, by the way.
There's some notably. What's interesting is two people get put together that are heroes and villains.
Yep.
In this kind of psychological attack, but it's also like kind of like being in like the Matrix. Like you can actually kind of get hurt. It seems like
or like a haunted house.
Like a haunted house. But Baroness and Destro spend some quality time together, even though they're on opposite sides in this case. And interestingly, there is like some notably good character depth added to their new guy Risk, who finds himself going toe to toe with Mercer. And they trade some interesting discussions because it's kind of like you are seeing the psychological fears and stuff of other people around you. Yeah. So you sometimes get insight into people, whether they're friends or foes. And that I think Williamson used that to write some interesting scenes.
Predator Bloodshed comes to a close. I really like this series. You know,
that's your Mortal Kombat one, right?
You know how one of the things in Predator is like the guy bonding this is that the end. It comes down to 3 fighters versus the Predator, and it's one dude who's like trying to get back to his kid, and one woman who is like basically almost seems like she's gonna sacrifice herself for the other 2, and another woman who's like their pal, and they all sort of throw in together against the Predator. It feels like, are they all gonna die? Maybe, or are they going to survive together and have this bonding experience?
Cool. Yeah,
it was a really good
feeling. The thing that you want from Predator.
I really like this Predator story. I think it's my favorite comic Predator I've read.
Randy, you cannot stop talking about the Yautja.
I love the Yautja.
Is that what it is?
Yes,
I think that's what it is.
Imperial Guardians number 4. I really like this book. It is one of my favorite comics right now.
This is Marvel's kind of. Not quite Guardians of the Galaxy-ish, but similar. But it has it has their own space team, but they are kind of working as like, what was it for? I know we mentioned this before. Maximus, the Black Bolt's brother, kind of doing missions that they're sometimes not quite sure the purposes of. Yep. But it's also they have that Guardians of the Galaxy energy to it. This one is like is a spooky one. Yep. There's like an archaeological research post. And it opens with them kind of powering it up, and weirdly, two of the people who are kind of generally considered the most fearless and kind of crazy on the team, Gamora and Cosmic Ghost Rider,
Yep.
both seem to be like really like kind of like almost on the verge of panic.
Yep.
And there's a new threat in this. The story is kind of unfolds interestingly. It was another really good issue.
It's a focus on Cosmic Ghost Rider and Darkhawk. We get insights into both of them. Including Cosmic Ghost Rider's role in the team, which is bigger than we thought it was.
Yep.
So, interesting.
He is such a weird character. The way Frank talks in this is kind of more like he's almost a little chatty. Like he's a little like Deadpool or something, like not fourth wall breaking, but like what I still don't know, and I've never quite known, is why Cosmic Ghost Rider talks that way when traditionally Frank Castle does it.
Because
it was driven insane.
Yeah, and he's long into the future.
I guess that basically is the Deadpoolish part of it.
He was broken, and I think it just kind of he lost a lot of his stoicism.
That's essentially it.
But I will say, it's kind of enjoyable. Like I've finally kind of like plugged into it enough to kind of enjoy it, and Dan Abnett found whatever it was to get me kind of on board the character. But yeah, everybody. What I noticed, Randy, in all of these, is that he not only does interesting plots, but like every storyline is meant to bring out stuff in the characters. Yep. Like, and he does it usually in a really, really interesting way.
So what you're saying is you want Dan Abnett to write a Deadpool book.
No, what I'm saying is he's the only one who should be allowed to write cosmic stuff. Also, there is a last panel that indicates some fun character stuff coming up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Inglorious X-Force continues to be, I think, my favorite X-book right now.
Oh, interesting.
That's good.
I got behind on that, but I was legit enjoying it, even though I have no connection to X-Force. Really.
It's Tim Seeley's book about Cable had a vision of a future in which Kamala Khan is president, the first mutant president, and is assassinated. And he thought, because these things were carved in his arm, that it was one of the people he assembled as his X-Force team.
Yep.
Now he's found out it's not them.
Correct.
But the team has it's such a weird team. It's Boom Boom. And Daken, aka Hito, Akihiro, Helverine, the two of whom are hooking up now.
Yep.
Archangel, and of course Kamala Khan, who's on the team.
Right. I guess only is Boom Boom the only one who was like one of the iconic X-Force characters from back in the day?
Yes. Domino's also lurking around the edges.
But they are all kind of edgelordish types, and X-Force always did have like the warrior.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Domino is also there's a little focus on Domino in this issue. I thought was interesting as to what she's doing. She's going to be working at cross purposes with Cable.
Okay.
And they are running up against the New Mutant Liberation Front, which is another X-Force thing.
Yeah.
They added a new villain to head them up since they didn't want Strife, even though Cable mentioned Strife is clearly involved in this somehow. And it's a lot of fun. I think this is a really good superhero book. And I'm glad to see Kamala Khan has not been used well since G. Willow Wilson left, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that someone is using her well, even if this is a weird place to find her. There's also Wonder Man #4, which I don't know. I don't think any of us are reading right now.
No, but it's like they're kind of clearly spinning off a little bit off of the TV show, Wonder Man in Hollywood kind of thing that's both an adventure and like an insider Hollywood kind of send up. He is currently romancing Hellcat.
Yep.
Which I realized kind of made sense because she's like sort of came from the modeling world. He's like a Hollywood kind of sort of fringe Hollywood guy, but they both feel like LA people.
Yeah, agreed.
Amazing Spider-Man this issue has it's called The Talk.
Yep.
It is not about Peter giving the sex talk.
True.
But there's two stories going on. One is this new concept I kind of like that's like, it's called the blood market, where villains are fighting to get the assets of a supervillain, like in this case, the Trapster.
Yep.
And whoever wins gets their stuff.
Right, kind of like an auction with gladiators.
Yeah. So that's going on. Spidey's there, and we're also seeing story of Peter talking to Mary Jane and his newly revealed, not Mary Jane, Aunt May, and his newly revealed cousin, which means that Ben and May had a
kid
son
that was
they
not
didn't know
discussed
about.
Or not they didn't know about, and this does sort of explain it all.
Yep.
And the way that I found it interesting, this is definitely a still making my mind up story, but but it's I thought it was interesting, and this is probably going to be a pretty notable issue.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Is that art actually Patrick Gleason? His style has changed up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's good.
I do think I just if I could put this out of the universe, all we want is Mary Jane and Peter back together. You can do whatever else. Bring in cousins, have him go into space, bring in your mushroom people. Just put them back together already.
I saw something popped on my like in my Facebook feed or something the other day, just some comic book news page or something like that. And it's something like, 20 years later, Marvel editor is still adamant he made the right call about...
Unbelievable.
So Joe Quesada is still standing by breaking up the marriage.
Yeah, certainly Peter and Mary Jane being together is not doing well in the multi-million-dollar movies.
And it seems like Nick Lowe is of the same mind.
Yeah. Oh, Nick Lowe, the editor, I think needs to be off the Spider-Man books.
I mean, I guess they aren't together in the movies, so...
Well, they're dating, though. They're still together. They're on that journey.
Well, not anymore.
Well, the actors are married.
Well, the actors.
That's a different story. Yeah, what I don't know is like, does Quesada think, it's Peter Parker dating is better than Peter Parker married?
It's not.
Or is he just like, well, look how successful Peter Parker has been, like, with these movies and video games, and he's like, if they were married and they had to be, like, marriage video game, he's like, that would be no fun.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. I didn't read the article.
Well, it's dumb.
I agree. I think, you know what? The craziest thing was, like, I think everybody was behind it. Everybody was the marriage.
Yes, everyone was on board. Only Joe Quesada wanted to do this. It
wasn't one of those things where people were like, kind of started sucking when that happened.
Yeah.
Now people were like, oh my gosh, Pete finally got the girl, basically. The loser dude got the girl, and she's a good character. Like, MJ is well written, has often been sort of well written, and kind of was becoming increasingly better written.
Yep.
And, like, yeah, nobody was, like, thinking this is a real major problem.
And still can be well written because...
She's a bunch of great stories lately, yeah.
So,
Al Ewing and a bunch of other people.
We're almost on the 20th anniversary of One More Day.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you, was my best counter argument for why they're wrong, which I know everyone in this room agrees with me.
Yeah.
But in those 20 years, which of Spider-Man's girlfriends has been a memorable character?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah? Which of Mary Jane's boyfriends have been a memorable character, except in a bad way? No one has, in 20 years, no one has made it work. I do too. I mean, it wasn't Paul's fault that he sucked.
No.
It was whoever the writer was, Zeb Wells.
Right.
But I'm just you had 20 years to prove that your concept was right, and you never did it once.
Yeah, can you imagine, Randy? 2 decades to do your proof of concept.
Yep, and you haven't delivered once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, could I, like, say that there was some story where Spider-Man was, dating somebody or another, and I was like, oh, that was kind of all right.
It was a cute date story, yeah, sure.
Right. But, like, anything that stuck?
Yeah,
no.
Nothing. And the thing is, I know for a fact that they have readers who will never read Spider-Man again until they're together again.
Yeah.
So, like, if they brought them back together, they would gain readership.
Right.
And no one who's reading it now is going to be like, oh, they're married? I hate that. Yeah. You're not losing anyone. It's the dumbest thing. Anyway, no one at Marvel's listening to this podcast.
So here's, like, I've predicted at least twice that I was like, oh, they've got to be getting him back together. They
just like to tease it.
Like a year or two back, there was like, oh, there's a storyline that's got like Doctor Strange and Mephisto, and there's supernatural stuff, and MJ is back around. So I'm like, this has to be it. They wouldn't be bringing it up otherwise. No, continually no.
Yep.
But just saying, like, so we are at the anniversary of it now. There's about to be a movie. Maybe at the end of the movie, this new movie, they get together. And they're going to be like, okay, and we're going to coincide with that, them getting back together in the comics, and maybe that's the wish.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not going to put any money on it. I've been wrong every other time about how much Marvel wants to cling to this dumb idea.
There is some stubbornness about clinging to it. I don't know if they're just refused to admit they were wrong.
You know how,
but it's time.
You know how, like, Dan DiDio over at DC, like, hated Nightwing.
It feels like that, yes.
But, like, as soon as he was gone and they started giving Nightwing some airtime and stuff like that, he just kind of catapulted back to stardom. Yeah. Tom Taylor had an amazing long run on him and all this.
Award-winning run.
Run and all, yeah. And, like...
so here's the thing. Marvel right now
DC acknowledged their mistake and corrected.
They didn't even... They didn't even have to acknowledge the mistake. They didn't acknowledge that Rick Grayson was stupid.
Right.
They just like, hey, what if the character was good again? And they just did that. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to apologize. We're not asking you to say, hey, sorry, we screwed up. We know you did. You know you did. We can all be there. Just put the goddamn characters together again.
Don't get me wrong. DC has had their fair share of stupid things.
Absolutely.
Killing Alfred.
Yes, killing Alfred's dumb, although now we've got holographic Alfred.
I know, but I want real Alfred.
Holographic Alfred.
It boggles my mind that we have gone this far and they haven't done the Spider-Man back together again.
Yeah.
I think at this point we're never getting it.
It seems crazy. I think the minute they change editors, it'll happen.
Maybe.
I think that it's being held on to.
That might be the case.
Yeah.
Somebody got like, Joe Quesada's got blackmail material on him, or had a drunken conversation with him one time and convinced him.
Well, no, he was involved with it. I think to him it was like,
does he go all the way back?
Lowe's been on the editor in this book for like 20 years.
Oh, man.
And he needs to stop.
So he's like a true believer, like a zealot.
Yeah. Now, that does mean he was also responsible for Dan Slott's Superior Spider-Man stuff, which I really liked. But that also sounded like a stupid idea.
Yeah.
So I just like something that sounds like a good idea, is a good idea. Mary Jane and Peter back together. # bring back the marriage.
Yep. Do you remember how good it was when they had that conversation issue recently in Venom or whatever?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that was just a whole issue of just them talking. These characters have a history together. Yep. You could just do it. And they clearly are interesting to read about in the same page.
Or Civil War Unmasked #2, where they were married and he was talking with him and Aunt May, who knew who he was at the time. Yep. Like, they've done a number of stupid things. And that includes not making him a teacher.
Yeah.
Aunt May not knowing who he is again.
Yeah.
And breaking him and Mary Jane up.
Yeah.
All three of those things are bad. You should fix all of them.
Yeah, but they're all bad.
Anyway.
All right.
20-minute rant done.
Any other single issues?
Yes, actually, one of.
Okay.
I think both Nick and I would make a point of this one. Chris Condon's comic of the Earth hits its second issue. This is his mini-series about sort of is it West Texas?
Yes, it's West
Texas.
Texas.
Kind of a
basically
West Texas kind of cryptid that actually, not that you've really seen it yet. Right now it's been the spooky story of this girl who's like escaped a kind of in the first issue, maybe a bad relationship, maybe even some criminal stuff was going on.
It sounded like a abusive relationship.
Okay,
and basically she's going back to her grandmother.
Right, kind of out middle of nowhere. Her grandmother's got this, like one of those single
oil
rig sort of wells on the property. They think they call it a wildcat rig. You're hoping to strike something. It's like there's a place for some reason. If there's a possibility of it, or some testing that said maybe there's some in the area, you set it up, and if it happens, you might get rich. So her grandmother has this, but what happens is she comes home. The well's just kind of doing its thing, or the pump. She goes in and finds her grandmother, like, terrified at the end of the first issue, like catatonic.
Yep.
Covered in oil.
In the basement.
In the basement, just frozen. And in this issue, they kind of follow really sort of just the day that of what follows after that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
She gets her cleaned up, and she's, like, clearly physically kind of okay, just still not talking.
I think Condon does a really good command of pace in this one. It feels really, like, believable. It feels like we're watching a horror movie. Right.
Because what happens, though, is she calls the company that's like the oil company, and she's like, something happened. I don't know how my grandmother is covered in oil. When it's not like it's spraying oil, right? So she's like, something else happened.
And that there's also an oil truck that's already here, but no one's around.
Right. It was like the grandmother called for like somebody to come out, and they're missing, and the truck is just there. So there's a bunch of weird things. Another guy comes out, though, and he spends most of the issue with her, and he's kind of like talking. He seems like a decent dude who's been doing this for a while, who's like, okay, well, let's see what we can rule out, and they're not talking about monsters and stuff right now. They don't know about this cryptid, although there's interspersed text pieces about this notion of this cryptid that kind of like is drawn to these wildcat wells or something. Yeah. But she is, like, seeing these little sort of apparitions on the edge of her vision, which are very creepy how they're done. Out in the distance, yeah. And as sort of like the sun, it's one of those ones because it's sort of focused on the day. You mentioned the pacing, Nick. I feel like I was kind of feeling the sunset as it happened. Yeah. And, like, kind of like as it got lower and lower, it's starting to feel like kind of more and more like hey, should you guys be around? Should you still be out searching right now and checking stuff and like walking off like a mile from the house when the sun is about to set? So it does a good job of, I think, building up the anxiety.
And I do think Charlie Adlard is doing an amazing job.
That's Walking Dead's iconic artist, Charlie Adlard.
He doesn't get to do zombies, but I think his moment-to-moment conversational is very dynamic.
Yeah.
And he captures light and shadow really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be...
Yeah,
he does full... and colors by Pitt Martin, which I think are really good too.
But yeah, like his control over sort of like the layout, like on this page where they're sort of using the beat of the oil pump as like kind of like a pacing thing is really cool.
If you told me that A24 was making this into a movie, I'd believe it.
Right.
It's kind of...
It's a slow burn, creepy horror. It's like Texas-based kind of cryptid horror. I feel like it's... I
want more.
It's going to end up somewhere.
I want more people to read this. It's really good.
I agree. It was the first issue was, I think, my pick of the week, though.
It was.
And this after me somewhat bad-mouthing off Mike Chris Condon. he doesn't... Most of his stories haven't quite landed for me.
Yeah.
But... he has been kind of having a moment. He's got his, like, investigator guy who's, like, an Indiana Jones
Vertigo.
Dude, over at Vertigo. He's probably writing the best Vertigo book of the relaunch. He's got this, and I don't know, whatever else he's doing.
He's about to restart that Texas Blood, too.
He's prolific.
Actually, I think they canceled that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it so he can do more comics about oil wells?
I think he's busy, probably. I think the sales probably didn't come in as high as they wanted. He's like, oh, I should write this other stuff I'm getting paid for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just noticed it was, unless it was something else, but they canceled all the orders for it. So
okay, so because we had a customer coming in looking for it, and I was like, oh, I guess it's coming back.
They just canceled it.
Next time you see them, tell them to get out.
Now that they may re-solicit, but as far as I know, that may not be happening.
Okay, sounds.
Any other single issues that I missed? Okay. There are a bunch of trades, as always, and hardcovers. The Art of Star Wars A New Hope manga, Volume 1, comes out this week.
Yep.
This is an oversized hardcover of the Star Wars manga from, 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Which one?
Star Wars manga.
Yeah. This was a big thing for me in the 90s. Yeah, I guess late 90s, maybe. They adapted each of the original trilogy
Different
movies.
artists, right?
Each trilogy had a different artist, but they were all really good.
The storytelling is great.
Yeah, this one, like the one who did Star Wars, aka New Hope, is I think the most sort of traditional anime or manga art, and I say like traditional looking, kind of like 90s sort of adventure manga, but also like Luke has that very youthful, clean look. He looks like an anime kind of wide-eyed anime hero. Later on, like by the Jedi artist, he kind of looks a little bit more like Yu-Gi-Oh! He kind of has that kind of wild look to him. But each one brings something to it, and there's a certain like kind of slightly heightened violence to how the stuff is depicted in Empire Strikes Back.
Yep. There'll be multiple volumes of this. This is not the whole first movie.
Right.
This is basically, they're doing it at the art of size, so it's like full-sized art.
Yep.
So it is an art book, but it's every page, so you are getting the story.
Right.
But it's a really nice presentation of a book that's been out of print for, I don't know, a decade at least.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in ages.
It's really good stuff. We've got a new compact edition from DC. We actually have a new display, so we've got more compact editions up. This is Batman Under the Red Hood.
Oh, yeah.
It's the original.
People have an interest in the Red Hood. This is probably going to sell 1 billion copies.
This is the return. This is where the character actually showed back up, revealed that it was Jason, revealed how he became the Red Hood by Jeb Winnick, and I forget who the artist is. Doug Mankey, maybe?
I think that's possible.
It's got
him or Patrick Gleason, one of those dudes.
I'm almost sure it's Doug Mankey.
It probably is.
And I believe it's got Matt Widener covers.
Right.
But anyway, I think there's like 6 or 8 issues of it in there, and also an annual. So it's a good
follow it up with
deal.
that. What was the one that was like showed his training after he came back behind the Red Hood or something, whatever. They should do that one next.
We got a graphic novel, a reprint of a graphic novel, Homer's Odyssey. This is an adaptation of it that's from a while back. Mm-hmm. This is the Odyssey because, I don't know if you know, there's a little Odyssey movie coming out this summer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So this is... The guy who did this also has done adaptations of other things, I think. This is a New York Times bestseller. Gareth Hines is the name. And he has done... he did the Iliad. He's done Beowulf. He's done Romeo and Juliet. He
Is
does
it a full comic, or was it like illustrated prose?
it's comic.
Okay.
But he has done some Poe stuff, Merchant of Venice, King Lear, and
So
has
he's
sort
adapted.
of
He is like a one-man classics illustrator.
yes, and he has sort of a painty style. But yeah, worth checking out. It's a nice fancy hardcover. We have a little golden book about the 80s.
Oh yeah, I was as a person who was alive in the 80s and who that was kind of like I was an 80s kid. I went through it yesterday, and it's very fun. Honestly, they do a good job. It's fun and goofy, but they mention Prince, Boy George, Rubik's Cube, Michael Jackson, E.T.
Yep.
All the sort of pop cultural stuff, fashions of the era. We joked because, of course, they're not quite getting into the edgier stuff. There's no talk about trickle-down economics or Cambodia or anything like that. But what it does do is, like, you know, I think especially people who like watch Stranger Things with their kids or anything that might be an 80s throwback. I feel like there's been a few things like that lately.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. Something else. But this would be a fun book for kids who watch that stuff with their parents, or for parents to just be nostalgic about and show, like, give this to their kids and be like, yep, this is a little slice.
Look, it's Mr. T.
It's the fun stuff of the 80s.
New X-Men, the Grant Morrison run that we all really like.
Fourth or fifth collection?
This is the final collection in the modern era, which I think is 3 altogether. And this has the Weapon Plus program stuff, which I believe this might have that annual that had the Leo Francis Yu artwork.
Okay.
That was really good. No, maybe not.
I know that Chris Bacallo is in this.
Chris Bacallo, Phil Jimenez, Mark Silvestri.
Yep.
It has the finale.
Yep.
Crazy finale.
Finale.
I was telling Randy, Nick, I really liked, Bacallo was another fun artist on the thing, but I always remember that is the story where I guess Morrison confused Emma Frost and Sebastian Shaw's power, which is hilarious.
Yep. He was too high.
Nevertheless, one of my, for me, my second favorite era of X-Men ever. There's Chris Claremont's kind of heyday, let's say 1980 to 1990 for me. And then there's this, which is a sort of a messier but completely fascinating time. Where Morrison was just great on it. Not willing to shake things up, while at the same time most of the stories were sort of based in classic ideas. Some new iteration of the Sentinels. Phoenix is back. There's Xavier's school gets attacked. But, like, he was always bringing something new to the table.
Exactly.
Every issue was, like, filled with ideas. It was the first time we ever saw somebody wearing that Magneto was right shirt.
I mean, it opens with killing almost all mutants.
Right. Genosha's destruction, which was so big in X-Men 97, as rendered by Frank Quitely. Those wild Sentinels, the way he drew that, I mean, just top-notch stuff. So,
if you've never read
plus Beak. Beak.
And Angel.
Angel.
Spider-Man the Other gets a reprint just in time for the movie.
Yep.
I think Marvel maybe didn't even know this was coming, and they rushed a reprint of the Spider-Man the Other.
Is this Moreland? Is that what that is?
No. I think Moreland is introduced later.
Okay.
This is where Spidey gets the organic web shooters. There is some of the totem stuff, I think, but I believe mostly that was J. Michael Straczynski stuff, and this is prior to that.
Okay.
This is Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa, I believe.
I thought it was still after it.
Is it? I don't think so. So Spider-Man the Other is by Peter David and Reginald Hudlin.
Interesting. That's an interesting combo.
He is being hunted by something, but no, it is Moreland.
Yeah.
So this would have been after this.
Did
so
it
I
have
guess
Clayton Crane covers?
It might have.
I think it did.
So you're right. Straczynski stuff is in here too. Was it a crossover? So yeah, it's Amazing Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Marvel Knights Spider-Man, like 3 issues of each. Yeah. So it was Reginald Hudlin, Peter David, and J.
It had to be like 2001 or 2002 or something like that.
This is their Triangle Spider-Man.
And I think so.
Yeah.
But it was them, like, seemingly at the time, somewhat trying to line up a little bit with the Raimi films and the organic web shooters, and come up with a kind of an interesting way to do it in the comics.
They were also doing sort of shamanic stuff. It was like the whole like totemic spiders and all that.
Which in its way would also lead into the Spider-Verse stuff later.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting series of dominoes here.
I think it was weird.
I didn't really read much of it though. So
the artists on this are Pat Lee. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mike Waringo and Mike Deodato Jr.
Wow. That's a fascinating
that's
slice
two
of
really good artists.
Slice of an era.
Yeah. So if you want a little sampling of that before you see the movie.
Yep,
It's true.
And then we got Superior Foes of Spider-Man, a new pocket edition.
Yep.
This is the entire run by Nick Spencer and Steve Lieber.
So sort of a cheeky bad guy book.
Yes, yeah.
Spidey bad guy book.
I sometimes have problems with it, but overall,
I really love this book.
It's a very
It was fun.
entertaining.
It's that snarky thing. It's the kind of thing that would bother me if some of the writers were doing it.
Yeah, and having Lieber.
It's the kind of thing that if I read it, I would have to eat a shotgun moments later.
Probably so, yes.
But I'm glad y'all enjoy it.
I mean, they put Silvermane's head on a remote control car. It was a little silly.
Yeah.
But it was entertaining.
Yep. And it deepened a lot of Spidey's foes. Shocker and Boomerang.
Speed Demon.
Speed Demon and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I recommend it. I'm glad. I don't know if some of those characters are going to be in the movie.
$15 book?
I think it's 25 because it is 18 issues.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's great. All right, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back and talk about some trailers and some news and stuff. All right, just a couple quick trailers to talk about, including, let's start with the video game trailer, which we're going to talk about a lot of these.
Yep.
But as you were saying, Dave, off mic, this is Star Trek Shadow Frontier, which is less interesting for the trailer. There's kind of a mood trailer.
Right. But what it looks like a little bit is a what's the video game?
Silent Hill?
Dead Space.
Dead Space.
Yeah. There's creepy stuff on board a spaceship. Looks like there's some sort of organic tendrils growing through it.
Yep.
And somebody recording you hear their journal of I don't think I'm going to make it out of this. And then you see, in a room with a 0G and some debris floating around in it, you see one of those little Star Trek comm badges, Picard and all the guys have. And a hand reaches out and grabs it, and it's Ro Laren from Star Trek, who was, the Bajoran freedom fighter and kind of one of the hard asses of them. That actress, of course, would later go on to be cast in Battlestar Galactica as other Galactica captain.
Oh, that's right.
She was
on the other ship.
Yeah,
Michelle Forbes.
Michelle Forbes, but she was the militaristic.
She was the hard ass, and so that is the kind of character she tends to play. Also, she was originally, for anybody who watched Deep Space Nine...
She was Kira. They just she ended up not being able to cast her or whatever, and they also tweaked the character. And, of course, what's-her-name ended up being amazing as Kira, but... That's the same energy she brings to the table. Yep.
And she gets this comm badge and she's kind of doing looks like she's going to go and try and rescue
some
this
old
person.
comrade of hers.
Yeah. It would make sense. Probably somebody from the Bajoran Resistance, the Maquis or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say the Maquis and the Bajorans tied together in some way.
The Maquis was the resistance to the, what do you call it? Not the Dominion, but oh my gosh, the guys who owned Deep Space Nine originally.
The Cardassians.
The Cardassians, yeah. Right. They were basically when the Federation brokered a peace treaty with them, but a lot of people had still been hosed. Mm-hmm. I think the Maquis were basically the ones fighting a guerrilla war against them.
The ones in Starfleet are we should not be making peace with these people.
Right. And so they were always the awkward sort of embarrassment to the Federation. They're like, hey, you're making us look bad. We're trying to do the slow burn get you peace, and you guys are kind of we want it today.
Leftist infighting.
One of Trek's more prescient and very always relevant stories. Yeah. Anyway, Ro Laren is a cool character. If anybody watched Picard knows she's no longer with us.
Right. Yep.
But this is clearly set in the past. You just got to get Michelle Forbes to voice her, and boom, Ro Laren up and running. I believe... I need to double check this, but I believe it's the people who made the last Silent Hill game, which I believe was one of those well-regarded ones.
Yeah.
Are making this, which is wild. They're doing a horror Star Trek game. We don't even know quite what it's going to be like, what the gameplay is going to be like. But I would have to think it's a little bit like Star Trek Dead Space, I think.
Yeah.
So while this trailer isn't whoa, amazing, it's interesting, and I want to know more.
Yeah. Marvel announced in September they're doing a one-shot celebrating the 50th anniversary of The Muppet Show called The Muppets Take the Marvel Universe, which is probably notable because Chip Zdarsky and Pete Woods are kind of heading it up. They're not the only people. I also see
Chip Zdarsky, who, although he's been doing a lot of serious comics lately, was originally known as one of the funniest guys in comics.
Yep.
And he did the recent Mad Magazine.
Yeah, he was sort of the editor of that.
Yeah, he gathered together an amazing group of talent for that.
This also includes Kyle Starks, who also does some pretty funny stuff.
Yep.
And also Philip Kennedy Johnson, E.J. Sue as on art. There's a bunch of good creators on this, but the
kind of the story hooks.
The story hooks they gave us is that Ralph the dog is kidnapped by Mojo to help launch his new streaming service.
That sounds good.
Dr.
Ralph is kind of like he's not. Scooter was kind of the stage hand.
He's a piano player. He's kind of the working actor type.
I feel like both Rolf and Scooter are kind of like the working types in that group.
No, Scooter is like the talented PA of the group.
Yeah, I guess that's what he is.
Rolf is the guy who's always he's that guy of the Muppet universe. Yeah, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker welcome Bruce Banner and Hank Pym to Muppet Labs for an experiment with gamma rays and Pym particles.
We're going to get a gamma up Beaker, aren't we?
I think probably so. When Clea falls ill from a serious virus or mystical virus, Doctor Strange doesn't have the cure. Help arrives from the Swedish chef.
Is he going to be like, I need you to read this Necronomicon? And he's like, oh, no problem.
And pigs in space meet raccoons in space. Captain Link Hogthrob, First Mate Piggy, and Dr. Julius Strangefork crash into Rocket Raccoon and Groot.
Amazing.
And there will be other stories as well.
And there's going to be a bunch of cool covers and all of that.
The cover shows Ghost Rider with Gonzo the Great.
Yeah, Gonzo hanging and flailing wildly, I believe.
Deadpool in Muppet Treasure Island.
Yep.
It's looks like fun.
It's going to be very fun.
Yeah. All right.
Randy, there was a trailer. Did we skip a trailer?
No. Oh, we did skip a trailer. That's right. Talk movie first.
Yes. Or we talked video
game first. That's what threw me. Yes, there's a movie called How to Rob a Bank.
Yeah.
Which is about a group of young bank robbers who are basically they also have a YouTube channel called How to Rob a Bank.
Yep.
And they are doing these sort of like, you're never going to own a home, you're not going to make a six-figure income, but you have a 9 out of 10 chance of successfly robbing a bank.
This is from director David Leitch.
David Leitch, yes.
Who did the Bullet Train movie previously?
Bullet Train, Fall Guy.
Yes.
Kind of a pop action guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
it features Nicholas Hoult as well as Michael Gandolfini.
John C. Reilly.
And then on the bad guy side, John C. Reilly is like an FBI agent who's tracking them down.
Yep.
He recruits a criminal hacker, Joey Kravitz, and they are going to trying to protecting the bank run by evil Christian Slater.
Yes. This seems.
I didn't catch that was evil Christian Slater.
It was. This seems very tongue-in-cheek, very, I feel like...
But also trying to kind of plug into, the moment, it's the less immediately violent side of, like, Luigi Mangioni's kind of making people realize how much we're all getting hosed by the insurance industry.
Yep.
There is a similar realization going on that how often the banks are bailed out, but the little guy never is.
Yep.
And... they're the guerrilla sort of forces fighting that, but it also doesn't look like it's being too heavy-handed. It's delivering its message or whatever it wants to say about this ultimately with a lot of kind of comedy and action.
It has the vibe of like Baby Driver.
Yeah, a little bit mixed with like I'm trying to think of something else that
Bullet Train from the same
guy, but it feels like a Guy Ritchie a little bit.
Yeah.
So like
it's got a little Point Break in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it has Pete Davidson in it.
And it has Pete Davidson.
Yep. Who actually has done some solid movies.
He's in the best Transformers movie.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to argue that it's Transformers 1, which I might.
Yeah.
But
the best live action Transformers.
Best live action Transformers movie.
Sure.
He's in. Yep.
Okay, let's move on to talking about topics. We've got some spoilers for we're going to talk about Disclosure Day.
Yep.
Which we all saw. We're going to talk about Cape Fear on Apple. We will have spoilers up to the 3rd episode.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk about Backrooms, the movie Backrooms.
The horror breakout movie from A24.
Yep. Let's start with Disclosure Day, which we all three saw this weekend.
Yes.
And we've already talked a little bit about it. And using our standard measurement of the podcast, Nick loved it. I liked it. Dave hated it.
Correct.
What it actually I think is that all of us liked it okay.
Yes, very.
None of us loved it, right? Did you love it, Nick?
I liked it more than just okay.
Okay, all right.
But I don't hear the L word coming from your mouth.
No, I don't think I loved it, but I think it was a very interesting movie. I
liked it. I would have liked it to be better. I think it was unpolished especially from Spielberg. It felt the story felt a little rushed. It felt a little by the numbers. I would have liked it to be a little less predictable, I guess.
But what I think we would maybe all agree is that it's very watchable.
It's very watchable. There's some great action scenes. The characters are all good.
Yeah.
They kind of throw you in the middle of it. Let's quick say what the plot is.
I liked that, by the way.
Yeah,
I really liked
it's a media res kind of structure where there's like an incident going on where basically you kind of have two shadowy agencies that were like kind of covering up UFO shit.
Yeah, well, it's a private company called Wardex that spun off from the government and is basically they at some point say even the presidents, since the president's gone every 4 or 8 years, we don't read them in on this. We are a private company.
It's a true shadow
for like
agency.
70 years. We have been responsible for keeping the truth about UFOs from people.
Yeah.
But there's a splinter faction within them, right?
Yep.
It is a splinter
There's
faction.
a splinter faction
that are basically our good guy type people who are like kind of like trying to get ready for a disclosure of information and technology and stuff like that. And they have one of the agents that's been working for them is kind of one of our main leads, who's
played by Josh O'Connor from the Knives Out movie.
Yep.
Oh, right. And he's, what was he, like some kind of information analyst or
He's
something?
a like genius hacker type guy, a cryptographer type guy, right?
Yeah, but he was basically their information broker.
He did some like prison time, and like as soon as he gets out of jail, they hire him because I think that they want somebody probably that they can hold some information, some blackmail material on. Yep. But basically, he's kind of had been doing their bidding, I guess, for years and kind of helping cover it up and all that. When he sees a video of like almost like a vivisection of an alien, like a surgery with no anesthetic, where you don't quite see all of it, but you see enough to see that this alien is clearly in horrible pain. And basically, it broke him and some of the other people who were doing it and caused this splinter faction to form.
At the same time, a weather woman played by Emily Blunt starts speaking an alien language on her weather report. Yep. And starts having these weird, like, visions where she can, like, talk to people and know exactly, like, what's going on in their heads.
Or can speak a language she never heard before.
And her boyfriend, Wyatt Russell, doesn't know what to do with all this.
Yep. Would you say he's like a genially supportive boyfriend, but who's also kind of freaking out?
He's also kind of a bro-ish. I mean, he does ultimately sell her out for the good. He's like, he calls the hospitals trying to get her taken back.
I mean, he's looking for an out.
He's looking for an out.
He's tired of her shit.
He thinks she's gone crazy.
Yeah.
And that's a reasonable. She is like suddenly speaking weird languages, talking to everybody.
But I want to say, Emily Blunt does a
Emily Blunt is the best part of this movie.
She
great.
Probably gets the biggest emotional showcase.
Yeah.
It is sort of about the kind of the good guy agency trying to get her in the same room as the hacker guy.
Yeah.
What's his character's name?
I don't know.
We don't know. Because they both seem to have a key role in this, it is possible that they may both in fact have been altered or set up by the aliens in some way for this very event. And they are pursued, violently by the bad guy portion of the agency for much of the movie.
Colin Firth and his...
Colin Firth, is a very sort of measured bad guy who doesn't, blow up, really. He's always kind of like...
Well, he's kind of...
He always seems to be sort of seething.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was on the side of the good guys until, his wife passed away and he kind of destabilized and...
Well, was he on their side, or he wasn't he didn't splinter off with them?
No.
He basically stuck with this and went hard into we're covering
evil.
This shit.
Yeah,
and the aliens are evil.
Yeah,
yeah.
And there is
he's a great bad guy, by the way. There's also kind of some nuance. He's not just cackling the evil. He's just very much a true believer.
Yeah, he believes in what he's doing.
When he's doing. Well, go ahead, finish.
No, and he's willing to do the unthinkable to cover things up, as what I think Dave was about to say.
I was going to say there's an interesting sequence. He has an alien artifact that allows him to kind of remote view through somebody else's eyes and exert even some control over them.
Over,
but it's not like a complete you just walk in and you just take over and you're them. There's a bit more nuance to it, and as you see him exert that influence and increase it. He's creepy. Yeah. He's very creepy. Some of the best scenes in the movie are some suspense sequences that involve him doing that, meaning that the good guys kind of can't always trust each other. They can't know if he might have gotten, gotten in the mix and tweaked things. There's a little bit of a road trip energy to this movie because they're kind of like almost weirdly, I'm going to say Midnight Run for people who've seen it, because they are kind of constantly on the run from people and having to pull off last minute escapes. There's a glimpse in the trailers, and all the trailers is a farmhouse chase sequence, which is particularly spectacular. It also involves a train and stuff like that, and it's kind of like to some degree, almost Spielberg can do no wrong there. Like, there's they stretch credulity a little bit, but like, I'll be damned if it's not like really entertaining to watch.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is highly entertaining. I think it is not his best Alien movie, obviously.
Well, yeah,
but I do think I
Close Encounters. Two Aliens. Close Encounters and is the kind of the first like what awe-inspiring aliens, and then there's the heartfelt Alien of E.T.
Yep.
And the personal connection.
This is of a piece with those.
And War of the Worlds.
This is better than
Scary Aliens.
This is better than the latter half of War of the Worlds, but not the
probably
first
agree
half.
with that. I probably agree with that.
Yeah.
But I always like him playing with ideas, and I think ultimately I came down on the side of I enjoyed this movie quite a bit.
When I went out of the theater, I was definitely pleased with it. Half my group, we liked it. The other half very much did not.
I also thought some of the kind of themes he was playing with were interesting ideas.
I thought that's the thing. I think he left the whole thing of like faith and how that interacts with aliens. He approaches it, he talks about it, but he kind of steps away from it and doesn't really go deep into it. Now, there's a lot of ideas like that in this movie. It's 2.5 hours long. I understand.
Yeah.
But I feel like the script could have used some more. The script is by David Koepp, who is a crowd pleasery, blockbustery guy.
Yeah.
And this feels like a crowd pleasery, blockbustery thing.
To me,
and I kind of wish this had been smarter.
But in a different way than Spielberg usually when he does his crowd pleasery. Because, I mean, like, for that, you think Minority Report or things like that.
Yeah.
This is a little quieter.
Yeah.
For being a UFO alien movie,
this guy, I forgot what all he's done. He did. So, Mission Impossible, the original, which I have issues with.
Okay.
Indiana Jones, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yep.
The less said, the better. Spider-Man, the original 2002 Spider-Man. I have issues with that, too.
Okay.
Panic Room, which is one of the most boring movies David directed.
I disagree with you. Sure.
And also, the original Spider-Man is a pretty great script.
Jurassic Park, which is a good movie. It's a really good movie. I'm not sure the script is important to it, though.
I don't know. People do quote lines from that all the time. It's not like a deep script, but it is, I think, a good script.
He wrote that Black Bag. He's written a lot of stuff for directors I like that I don't like.
Yeah.
I think he's the problem for me.
Maybe. I do, I felt like the ending was a letdown. I love movies like Contact. I'm okay with movies that don't sort of reveal all but Contact was, I think, particularly artful about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And did engage a little bit more with the intellectual side of it on a somewhat better level.
This was more like an unfilled promise. Like they had spent the whole movie telling they're gonna tell us a thing, and they don't tell us the thing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's gonna bug some people. Mm-hmm. If you're a longtime Spielberg fan, though, you should probably see it.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get a lot out of it, or you're going to enjoy parts of it. And you might even enjoy it more kind of going in with a little bit sort of reduced expectations and then enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And then if you like those themes, go watch Contact.
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of agree.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I would say I'm not sorry I saw it in the theater.
Or Close Encounters.
Yes.
I'm not sorry that I saw it in the theater, but if I knew now what I know then, I think I wouldn't have.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk Cape Fear, Nick.
Sure.
Since Dave has watched a little bit of it.
I've seen 2 episodes.
You and I have seen the third.
Yep.
And I didn't quite plug into it, although I liked some stuff in it. This is the 3rd iteration in the world of Cape Fear. And 4th, technically, because it was a book originally.
Right.
Then it was adapted in the 1960s with Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum as Max Cady.
Yep.
And then it was directed as a violent, 1990-ish one by Scorsese with Robert De Niro as easily the most physically terrifying Max Cady.
By the way, getting Gregory Peck to play a lawyer, that's a pretty big call to his notable.
It's fun, yeah. But he's like a thundering kind of Southern.
Yeah, I mean that's what he was in. I mean, no, he's more quiet Southern.
He was the good guy, complete White Knight. But every version of it is basically about a lawyer who put away a violent criminal, usually with sort of creepy sexual assault charges in the mix of his violence. And that guy gets released from prison having really studied up sometimes or kind of learned his law and sort of stuff. And that person enacts a campaign of revenge. That's every version is something like that with some twists into it. And this one has some twists.
Yeah, I will say that is sort of kind of this, but Javier Bardem plays the
this was, we should say, this is a show on Apple Plus, so it's a 10-episode breakdown as opposed to a 2-hour film.
Javier Bardem, Georgia.
Yes.
Which is very much a character itself.
Yes, but Javier Bardem is our Max Cady, and he's great.
He is convicted for the murder of his wife.
Yes.
But just the murder. There's no sexual assault.
No, there's nothing like that. But he is convicted by
a restaurant owner or something.
Something like that. Yeah, he is a chef. Yeah,
he is a chef.
So he was convicted by, he had his defense attorney, Amy Adams.
Yep.
And she was pregnant at the time. And he is being prosecuted by the prosecutor played by Patrick Wilson.
Yep.
Well, right after that case, Amy Adams had her daughter, and then divorced her husband and married Patrick Wilson's character.
Correct.
So and prosecutor and defense attorney got together.
There's a lot of speculation that they were having sex during the trial, and Max Cady maybe took a deal that she gave him because she was sleeping with the prosecutor.
Right.
There's no...
And kind of floundering. It was one of her initial first cases. So you can write it off, but there's definitely something there, and that's
one of the big
something.
mysteries of the series.
And they now have a son, that's their biological son, who is very troubled. We start off by seeing him at the therapist. But he's their biological kid, and his sister, the older sister, has a little bit of a problem with that because she's like, I'm not really their daughter to them because I was adopted.
Right. And weirdly, she is like kind of like, in some ways would otherwise be the golden child. She's like always doing the good thing and right thing. But it also means she's also seen as easy and fades into the background. Yeah. Like, nobody pays attention to her because you're like, oh, you're always doing the right thing. Good job, honey. Bye-bye.
But at this point, Amy Adams works for basically the Southern Poverty. It's essentially the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Or Innocence Project or something like that.
I mean, it's like, it's got the same initials as Southern Poverty.
I think it's meant to be more of a sort of a prisoner advocacy specific.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
The initials are dead on.
I know, but in theme, it's supposed to be like these people are wrongfully.
It's a prisoner advocacy group.
But her boss is C.G.H. Pounder.
Yep,
who's great, and even in small roles.
I wish she was
playing someone who is like very much about like this company needs PR and good word of mouth and stuff like that. And so when Max Cady is released, instead of like we're in like previous iterations of Cape Fear, it's like, oh no, I hope he doesn't come mess with us. She's like, oh, this is so great. He's actually could be an advocate for our project.
Right.
Yeah. Let's get him become
she sees it as a boon.
He's released because it opens with his mistress killing herself and basically saying that she killed his wife.
This is, by the way, a terrifying opening.
Yes.
In which a woman, they do run a suicide warning anytime they show this in a flashback, which is, I think, every episode. She puts a gun. She writes this tearful note. She puts a gun in her mouth, shoots herself. Then we see a few minutes later, she hasn't died.
Yeah.
She gets up and when the phone rings and you hear her talking to him, and then there's another thing that happens and she shoots herself again. It's freaky. All versions of this, I think I will say, are sort of lurid.
Yeah.
They're all kind of about creepy revenge and sort of people who are the heroes are usually kind of sort of doing the best they can, but they also are kind of like a well-off family with kind of a lot of privilege. And sometimes, especially since the Scorsese era, they're shown to be sort of morally compromised in some ways. But
not just a little bit more. They actually are saying, does he know what we did?
Right.
So they did something wrong. Right.
Well, in the Scorsese one, they basically buried some evidence that could have exonerated or gotten Max Cady off on a technicality.
Right.
Or that is to say, only Nick Nolte in that. Here you actually have the big kind of, I think, innovation of this one is that it's instead of the husband who was just secretly did this and nobody knows his dark secret, the husband and wife basically were both in on something and we don't know quite what yet.
And
there's been some other twists too.
There's definitely some other twists. There's the son comes home after being missing, and it's missing a toe.
Yeah, he's in like a haze, like he's clearly on some sort of drug or something like that, but he's kind of acting weird, and they're like, what's wrong? And they like notice like his shoe is bloody or something, and they take it off, and he's got a toe missing.
Yep.
And it comes right after Max Cady at like a conference had done an impromptu speech where he talked about like how prison could be a death of 1,000 cuts. And like he said, it's like cut off a little finger here, a toe there. Yeah. So he had like specifically brought up that kind of concept. So it does seem like he's toying with them, but there is another element that I know that y'all told me about from the third episode.
I think there's a lot of red herrings too.
Yes, and there's what y'all were discussing off mic, which we probably don't want to ruin for anybody. Is an interesting theory that would really upend how this story usually plays out.
The third episode kind of...
The third episode turns a lot on its head and has me wondering if Katie didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
Right.
He might actually be innocent in this
There's
iteration.
some interesting stuff going on behind the scenes.
There's also stuff with Patrick Wilson and like a colleague. Like, everybody has secrets and other things going on.
Microdosing the entire...
He's microdosing LSD or something, yeah. There's craziness going on. Yeah. I wasn't sure I was going to watch this because I've only seen Cape Fear once. I liked it, but I don't have like a huge fondness for it. But I also wasn't like, I need to see a new iteration of this show. But I'm 3 episodes in, I'm pretty much hooked.
Because this is what? Produced by Scorsese and Spielberg?
I mean, Scorsese's name, I think, is going to be always on anything Cape Fear now. I don't even know how involved he is. It's just that, like, he's producer credit.
Well, I mean, Apple's pretty good with their television products, and I'm enjoying this. I think it's well worth the attention.
Oh, absolutely. This is my second favorite thing on Apple right now behind Widow's Bay, which we all love.
Oh, God. Is tonight the Widow's Bay finale?
I believe it is.
It is. By the way, if y'all aren't watching that, it has continued to be great. What is it? A 10-episode season?
It's a 10-episode season, yeah.
And it's about to wrap up. So if you're, I know I think our coworker Serena was waiting till it
concludes
to watch, and so she's about to be there.
And it did get a renewal for season 2, which I'm excited.
So it's been getting a lot of buzz too.
The guy who's doing Cape Fear, he did do some writing for Hannibal. He wrote 3 episodes of Hannibal, which is pretty great. Then he was showrunner on Channel Zero. Isn't that weird horror thing?
I like Channel Zero.
I have heard that show is like, because I only saw like a little bit of it, that it was kind of an underappreciated show, but like it's kind of getting appreciation in retrospect.
I really like
I need to circle back on
the first season is legit good. The second season, I don't think I kind of completed.
Each one was like a sort of a bit of an expansion on some kind of creepypasta type story, right?
Then he did something called Brand New Cherry Flavor, which I think I've heard of, but haven't watched. It's another sort of horror thing. And A Friend of the Family, which is a 1970s true story about someone whose daughter was kidnapped by a charismatic, obsessed family friend.
Oh, I did watch it. That was messed up. Okay. But it was good, but it was messed up.
But yeah, this is apparently his speed. Yeah. Dave, you and I saw Backrooms.
Yeah, we had a very unique experience, which we'll come to in a minute.
Yes.
Because in a way, we haven't quite finished watching it, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. So Backrooms is based on a YouTube short.
Yep, that goes back, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or something like that.
The kid was like 16 when he made it, right?
Something like that, because it started out as like this creepypasta thing on like Reddit or somewhere like that, where there was just like an eerie picture of like sort of liminal space, empty hallways and rooms, weird lighting and sort of flat kind of office-y lighting, but it just kind of looked kind of gross.
Back room in IKEA.
And and then like he, I guess, like other people started spinning off stories, and he made a short video based on that, like a little 10 or 15 minute thing, which I have seen and do really like. Which imagines somebody kind of falling through like a little sort of hole in reality and finding themselves kind of in these strange otherworldly rooms, which look like kind of like hallways that go on and on for miles, like a labyrinth. But it's almost like, they use an analogy in the story. Like, this would almost be like normal rooms with furniture and stuff with it. But the analogy that somebody uses is that if you described a dog to somebody who had never seen a dog before and then told them to draw it, that they get kind of the detail, they get the basics right. If they drew it, you'd kind of look like a dog, but it would also look kind of wrong and off, and they would lose a lot in the details.
Yeah.
Well, that's what these rooms are. There's like, weirdly stacked chairs and stuff, just piles of furniture, or a desk or a sign that's embedded in the wall, or a door that's too small and it's like elevated, to like chest height. Just endless weird stuff like that. And they seem to be largely empty, at least initially in that short film. But there is like a sort of creature loose in it. Mm-hmm. Like a weird sort of, I always said it kind of looked like a scribble monster.
Yeah.
I don't know what fans call it. But I know that there's like all this lore, and sort of something I did know. I thought the movie was just a complete reimagining of it, but I am since told that the movie 100% ties in with all the lore.
So it's like a sequel, essentially.
It is. Like, in other words, all of, I think those shorts are canonical, and I do actually want to revisit them now. But, the sort of main character in it, there's sort of two main characters, but the main character that we see is this struggling guy who owns a kind of a cheap furniture store.
Yeah.
What's it called? The
Captain
Ottoman Empire.
Ottoman Empire, yes.
Yeah. And he is played by Chiwetel Ejiofor,
who is great in this.
I was surprised because I thought that this was a movie that was going to be just kind of like not have a lot of emotion to it, that it would just be about exploring spooky spaces.
Yeah, it would be just scary, but it's definitely very emotional.
He's a guy who is struggling with alcoholism, and
a divorce that he didn't want.
Yeah, a bad breakup, and kind of like he I guess always wanted to be an architect.
Yep.
But like it has ended up like he's like not unsuccessful, like he's doing okay, but it's not what he wanted to do with his life.
Yeah.
And he still has a lot of residual resentment against his ex. And this comes out through therapy sessions with the other lead of the story, a woman who's written a book. She's a therapist, but she's also written a book that's a little sort of pop psychiatry that will kind of fit into the movie's themes of kind of...
Well, early on we see her past where she had like a mom who like they were
she was
locked,
like agoraphobic,
and
or some people think schizophrenic.
Yeah.
But she has like the walls of their house newspapered up.
Yep.
And it looks like a hoarder house.
Yep.
And so it was like a real life kind of Backrooms, but that she had to try and survive. And maybe that explains why later on she will fare somewhat better than he does, because he's you see some fun. There are, by the way, some funny things in here.
There
like
are.
him recording a cheesy local commercial dressed in a pirate costume, which is a fantastic sequence.
Yep, and set something important up for later.
It sets something important up for later. But at some point, he's down there checking the breaker box because of some power issues they had. And it's like he leans up against the wall and his hand just glides through it, just like Kitty Pryde or something like that. Or and he looks through and he finds the entrance to the back rooms, which at first almost seems like it could just be an extension of like an unknown warehouse under the furniture center.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the invisible door.
For the invisible door and then increasingly strange things.
Yep.
But he's like, as kind of a wannabe architect, it seems like he's more fascinated than scared by it.
He enlists his young assistant manager, played by the girl from Shrinking.
Yep.
Alice from Shrinking.
And her boyfriend.
Who's kind of a bro, but he's a camera guy.
Yep.
And they get dragged into this with him.
Right.
And it gets scary very quickly. It
does get scary, yeah. This is more of, I'd say, overall more of an eerie than a scary movie. But there's some, I think, very intense scenes, including, I thought the opening scene, which in a way kind of recreates the YouTube shorts, was a very intense opening.
There's a lot of scary stuff in this. I mean, it's not it's not like Obsession that scared the hell out of me, but it's definitely unsettling.
But yeah, it's funny because I do know a few people who've said, it's not very scary at all. And I always feel like it's so weird, the metrics that we judge it by.
Yeah.
There's like not a bunch of big jump scares, but the suspense and tension builds sometimes in this.
I think, and I don't want to be mean here, but I'm gonna. If you don't find this at all like eerie and scary, you're probably not smart enough to understand when you're in danger. Because I was watching this whole thing thinking, there's no way in hell I'd be going to that space.
Yeah, I think by having such a kind of slightly broken antagonist, they kind of explain where it's like, this guy doesn't have a lot to live for.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And it sort of made it make sense in there, even though, yes, we probably would not be doing that.
Nope.
That says how healthy we are. We're all very mentally healthy.
Exactly. If I find a liminal space, I'm not going into it.
We don't want to blab too much because what we've described is sort of a premise here, and we don't want Nick to know too much because we want him to see it.
Right.
But suffice to say, there does seem to be something down there.
Yes.
That is like alive, kind of, sort of, and will. There's also a suggestion from the opening scene of some other party that sort of knows about them.
Yeah, it feels like a X-Files-y type government agency that is like studying the Backrooms.
Which, so, I guess if you've watched the shorts, that's a thing.
Without going too deep into the ending.
Yes.
We don't know how it ends because toward the end, and like really like 5 minutes from the end.
I think it was only like 2 minutes.
Yeah, we were almost there. And we're watching this, and when we had gone to the theater, it was bright and sunny outside.
Right.
And one of the characters is in an interrogation room with a guy who's
from the... don't need to say too much about what's happened.
Who's from the corporation.
Yeah.
Or whatever, this other evil thing. And as they're talking, the power went out.
Right. And like, it was like kind of after somebody said something
notable. So they said something notable, and then the power went out, the emergency lights came on, and it felt like they were doing a weird meta thing.
Right, like this is the end of the movie, but it's meant to be jarring. No credits or anything
no credits,
like that.
Nothing.
So the audience just kind of sat there in awkward silence in our own liminal space for about 2 minutes before like an usher came in and said, "Hey, sorry folks, there's a big storm going through and it just knocked out our power.
And there might be basically a tornado outside.
And she's like, we'll get back to you in a few minutes and let you know if we can get this back up and running again."
Mm-hmm.
And when they left, I think we were all like, because it had been sunny when we went in, we were all like, is this real? Like, is this some kind of meta thing that's still the movie? You know, like, or even like, we're some kind of weird test audience that's getting some kind of bizarre, LARPy sequence in it. But no, she would come in a few minutes later and say, sorry, it looks like it's going to be an hour before we get power back up. So, if you kindly follow me, we're going to escort you through these darkened hallways with only emergency lights on and give you rain check tickets, which they did.
They did.
Credit to their people. They got us all out sort of safely and easily. It was building up to a storm outside, but luckily no actual tornado, but there was lightning everywhere and it was creepy looking and kind of mist raining and stuff like that. But the whole time that we were going out, I know, Randy, you and I kept on being like, almost like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Because it just did not feel real. And because the whole movie has a certain dreamlike atmosphere, I would say it was very effective.
Yeah.
I would later go on to, I think we both wanted to know what happened. And yet, even though we got a rain check, I don't think we were like, I'm going to go watch this 2-hour movie again just to see 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever it was. So I went ahead and asked, and you looked around, and we kind of found out what happened. And it wasn't, what we missed wasn't huge, but it is creepy.
Yeah.
And I actually, in a weird way, I know that I can't tell people to try and recreate this. Nobody could recreate it. But because it came from a creepypasta story, I sort of liked looking into it. It felt like I was now engaging with it as like this urban legend again. And I'm like looking up what happened and asking a friend to tell me what happened. And there even seemed to be like a few discrepancies. I'm like, wait, what is he talking about? Let me see if I can find a photo of this or a screen grab or something like that. And so it was a kind of an eerie sequence. But suffice to say, I really liked it. It's actually, for me, I think it hit for me the way, Obsession did for you.
Yeah.
Which is to say, it was one of my favorite movies of like the last year.
I didn't love Obsession that much, actually.
Oh, really?
I just thought it was really scary.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. But that is how I feel about this one.
That's seriously. Yeah, the only thing that said for me that she liked that is Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, and I really liked Hail Mary too, but I think just for my personal preferences, because it keys into a lot of things I particularly like, this kind of spookiness. Like whenever I post a lot of photos on like my social media, and I specifically like these kind of weird liminal spaces, so I was already in the tank for it. And the fact that it also delivers a sort of emotional and character-driven story and some interesting thematics. And I was like, and then I've enjoyed kind of like looking into how it links up with like the lore of the shorts from YouTube and stuff.
I really enjoyed it, but I think you definitely plugged into it more than me because like I haven't gone and watched the shorts. I'm not going to.
Right.
I haven't
gotten around to them yet either.
Yeah. It's not a thing that made that much of an impression on me. I just thought it was a good movie.
But I have been watching some analysis videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think we would both recommend it at the very least.
I would absolutely say people should see this. Yes.
And say that it does some kind of unique things. It is an A24 movie through and through.
Yep.
But it also is very unique and sometimes darkly funny.
Yep.
Sometimes you'll be going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But And if you can, try and watch it in an area where a storm is coming.
Yeah,
through.
that'd be
but
great.
you don't know the storm is coming.
Right.
You can't know
ideal.
the storm is
you
coming.
can't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly, it actually, overall, one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had with a movie.
It's fun.
And I've had movies that went dark once or twice, but never at such a precarious moment where it felt like it was the movie.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all we got time for this week. We'll be back next week with more. Until that time, yo, Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.